You know how some days just seem to drag on forever while whole years can just fly by? Well, what if I told you our entire concept of time is just one perspective? Hindu cosmology has this absolutely mind bending idea that all of human history, everything we've ever done, could be nothing more than a flash, a single moment for some higher being. So, today, we're going to explore a timeline so vast it will completely redefine what you think of as long term.
All right, here's our journey. First, we'll get into how time can literally stretch and shrink. Then, we'll look at the great ages of our own world before zooming way, way out to the lifespan of a god. We'll even count down to the end of the universe itself. And finally, we'll tackle the big one. What could possibly lie beyond the end of everything? Let's dive in. So, first up is this really radical idea that time isn't some universal clock just ticking away at the same speed for everybody everywhere. No. In this cosmic view, time flows at totally different rates depending on where you are, what plane of existence you're on. Just try to imagine a place where your entire life, from birth to death, passes in what feels like a single second to someone else. Seriously, think about that. For us, a second is, well, it's gone. It's a snap of the fingers. But what if that same single second could contain entire civilizations rising and falling? The scale of this is just staggering. So let's actually put some numbers on it to see how wild it gets. Okay, this is where it starts to feel almost unbelievable. Let's just focus on those bottom two rows, right? In a realm called Shivapuri, one single second, one tick, is the same as 300,000 years on Earth. I mean, think about that. Our entire species, Homo sapiens, has only been around for about that long. But it gets even bigger. In the supreme abode Parabrahmdam, 1 second is equal to 2.5 million Earth years. All of human evolution, from our earliest ancestors to right now, could happen in the time it takes for a being there to just blink. Whew. Okay, after that cosmic perspective, let's zoom back in a bit, back to our world. Hindu cosmology also talks about this grand cycle that governs humanity directly. It's a story told in 4 great ages, or as they're called, yugas, and each one has its own distinct character and length. This timeline just lays it all out so perfectly. You see, the cycle starts with the Satya Yugam, this golden age of truth that lasts over 1.7 million years, where people could live for 100,000 years. But then, as we move through the next ages, Treta, Dwapara, and finally to the one we're in now, the Kali Yugam, look at what happens. Everything shrinks. The length of the age and the human lifespan, they both just drop dramatically. And this isn't just about time. It's said to reflect a cosmic decline in things like virtue and truth. So that whole cycle, all 4.32 million years of humanity's ups and downs, that feels impossibly long to us, right? But here's the pivot. Here's the kicker. On a truly cosmic scale, that entire span is just one tick of the clock. It's like a single grain of sand on an infinite beach. And now we're going to look at the whole beach. To even begin to understand this next scale, we have to introduce Brahma, the creator god in this whole cosmic framework. We're not measuring time in human years anymore, not even in that 4-age cycle. We are now measuring time against the life of the creator himself. 4.32 billion years. That number might sound kind of familiar. It's roughly the age of planet Earth. And in this cosmology, that entire planetary history, from its fiery formation to us sitting here today, represents just one day in the life of Brahma. This unbelievably vast period of time is called a kalpa. And remember that 4.32 million year cycle of the 4 yugas we just talked about? Well, 1,000 of those cycles have to pass, one after the other, just to equal one daytime for Brahma. And when his day ends, the universe partially dissolves, only to be reborn after a night that is just as long. Okay, so if a single day for the creator is 4.32 billion years long, what about his entire life? This is where the numbers just completely leave our ability to comprehend them behind. We are now looking at the full lifespan of our universe, from the very first spark of creation to its final, absolute end. The math here is just staggering. A full day and night cycle for Brahma is 8.64 billion years. One of his years is over 3 trillion of our years. His total lifespan is 100 of these cosmic years, which adds up to 311.04 trillion Earth years. It's a number so huge, it's basically just an abstract concept, a true measure of what feels like eternity. So, what happens when this 311 trillion year cosmic clock finally stops ticking? Well, at the very end of Brahma's life, something called a Mahakalpa Pralayam, or the Great Dissolution, takes place. And its consequences are absolute.
The result is total. The universe as we know it, our solar system, our galaxy, every single thing is completely and utterly annihilated. It's the ultimate reset button, bringing a final, definitive end to a cosmic cycle that lasted for 311 trillion years. It's really hard to wrap your head around, but even a 311 trillion year timeline has an end. And this leads to a really profound philosophical question that's right at the heart of this cosmology. What if there are two completely different kinds of reality?
On one side, you have the Hadoop Prapancham, which literally means the limited world. That's our universe. It has rules, it's physical, it has a beginning, and as we've just seen, it has a definite end. It's the reality of creation and destruction. But on the other side is the Behad Prapancham, the limitless world. This is described as a realm of pure light, a state of being that is totally eternal, no beginning and no end. It exists completely outside of our finite timeline.
And that leads us to our final, and maybe the most important idea of all. After a journey that took us 311 trillion years into the future, to the very end of our universe, we're now asked to look past that final moment, to whatever lies beyond the horizon of time itself. The word for this is Behad. It means that which has no boundary. It's true, absolute infinity. And by its very definition, it's a state that's beyond our comprehension, because every thought we have, every concept we can even form, is born from our experience inside this limited, finite world. And so, we end up right back where we started, with a question about time. We've just calculated the lifespan of our entire universe, a mind-boggling 311 trillion years. But if our reality is fundamentally finite, a limited world, then what is the nature of that limitless, eternal reality that lies beyond it? What happens after the end of everything we could ever possibly know?